people think that if I get drishti from Baba, or if I have a vision, I have a sakshatkar in which I see the soul or the sparkling world of souls, then I will be liberated. And even this is something that takes some time to understand. But I remember when I was little, then there was this opening of the house, this house warming ceremony, and before that, the owner of the house had appointed a Panditji to keep chanting some mantras for 11 days. And then I asked that owner, why did you appoint this Panditji to chant mantras for 11 days? So he said that all the bad omens that are on us, they will go away if the Pandit chants the mantras. So I said, how will the bad omens on you go away when the Pandit is chanting the mantras? So if the Pandit is chanting the mantras, then the bad omens on him might go away. But then how will that go away? So he said, no, that's the way it's done, and we will be giving dakshina. So that's the way it's done. But even as a kid, I found that very weird. And I felt like, if there are bad omens on me, then I must do something about it. And if I'm not doing anything, then how will they go away by somebody else doing it? And there is a lot of outsourcing in bhakti. So, men will say, women, you go to the temple, and then the whole house will have have all the good wishes. So all this outsourcing happens, and even right now my Lokik family, most of them are not in Gyan, so they keep saying that because you are in Gyan, so we will benefit. So I keep telling them, no, it's not like that, and I'm in Gyan, I will benefit. You want to benefit, you do your tapasya. So this is how it goes, and these are many belief systems, very deep-seated, and about this husband and wife having a joint account of karma. This is also a very tricky thing, that if the wife is doing bhakti and if the wife is doing some dan punya, then the husband will also get the benefit of it. But that's not like that. And Baba says that every karmic account is individual, and it takes some time, even when we come to Gyan, it takes some time to understand how, to overcome these deep-seated belief systems takes a lot of time. And especially, this thing that every individual soul's karmic account is separate. And you doing something is not going to benefit the husband or the wife or the children. So if they want to benefit, they have to do it for themselves. So these are things that we need to understand. And then Baba says something more deeper today. And Baba says that when we come to Baba, even then, there is this thought that if I had a vision, if I had a sakshatkar, and I saw something. So this is also something that comes from bhakti. People think that you will be liberated if you have a sakshatkar or a vision. But Baba says, even if you have a vision, that's something that drama gave you as a gift. That's not something you made an effort for. And what is the law? The law of karma says that you will get what you invest in. So, you will get the return of your karma. Now, you had a vision. Where is your karma in that? What did you do to get that vision? You did not do anything to get that vision. That's just a scene in drama which is there, so it just came up. But where is your effort in that whole scene of vision? And Baba says, you cannot get anything without making effort. And it is precisely because of this law of karma that Baba comes and teaches. Because if Baba could just give everything without effort, then I'm sure that Baba is the father and Baba has such a big heart and so much love for us that he would have done it. So, in fact, love makes you many a times want to do something to benefit somebody without them making any effort. So, the love in your heart will say, let me do everything for them and they will get the benefit. But the law doesn't work like that. If you have to take benefit, you have to do something. And even Baba cannot give us liberation in life just like a free gift. We have to make effort for it. And Baba also says that even if you get my drishti, so like Baba says, I anyways look at you. So every child is getting my drishti. But if just by getting my drishti, if you could be liberated, then every child would be liberated. But Baba says, not by getting my drishti, not by visions will you be liberated. Then what is the effort that we have to make? So Baba says, you have to make the effort to consider yourself to be a soul and remember the bodiless teacher. And in the Murli today specifically, Baba is talking about remembering the teacher. And I remember in one of the classes very early on when I came into Gyan, Ramesh Bhai Sahab used to say in that class that you remember the ocean of peace, you remember the ocean of love, but do you also remember the ocean of knowledge? Because Baba is the teacher, the ocean of knowledge. So don't just remember him like the ocean of peace and ocean of love and ocean of purity, but also remember him as the ocean of knowledge. And that will make you knowledgeful. And I remember after that class, I started remembering Baba as the ocean of knowledge, as the teacher. Previously, when I came into Gyan, I never remembered Baba as the ocean of knowledge. I always only drew peace and purity and love from Baba. And I felt good, but then nothing entered my head because I didn't understand anything. So I just felt good. I felt that love for Baba, but I did not understand anything. But when I started sitting in silence and considering myself a soul and remembering Baba as the teacher, the ocean of knowledge, then I started having these insights into the Murli and I started really understanding the Murli. So that's also something that opens our locks. And Baba says, why is this and why does Baba have to say that make effort to do this? Because it will not come naturally. We have been for the last 5,000 years, we have been remembering bodies. And Baba says, you have the practice of remembering bodies. Yes, so how many bodies do you remember? Yes, I think we remember these days the bodies of those who we are not acquainted with more than the bodies of who we are acquainted with, because there is so much of bombarding of pictures these days, and so many, these videos and these stuff, shots and reels and this and that, that there are so many pictures in our head all the time. And Baba says that you have this practice of remembering bodies. And Baba today says that when you went to school, you had yoga with your teacher, didn't you? You always remembered your teacher. You remembered every little thing your teacher did and every little thing your teacher said. Yes, and students have this favorite hobby of copying the teacher or mimicking the teacher, and they would talk like the teacher and walk like the teacher and stand like the teacher, and you have so much buddhi yoga with the teacher that you remember the way they speak, what they speak, how they sit, stand, talk, everything you remember. So Baba says that you have buddhi yoga with the teacher even in the Lokik world, but it is easy to have buddhi yoga with the teacher and nobody tells you. Does anybody tell you that you have to have buddhi yoga with the teacher? No. We do that very naturally because that's our practice. We remember bodies. We remember the physical actions and the mannerisms and the idiosyncrasies of every bodily being. But Baba says that it is not your practice to remember the bodiless. Yes, it is not your practice to remember the bodiless. And this is why you have to make effort. And I think, in making effort, the first thing is making time. Because when there is a very good saying which I always live by, if something cannot find a place in your day, they cannot find a place in your life. And this is very true, and I have tried it, and I live by it, and I really believe in this. And whatever you want to make an effort for, that has to find a permanent place in your timetable every day. And the first effort that we have to make for remembering the bodiless teacher is to make time for it. And the time that Baba has given is Amrit Vela. So Baba says, remember the teacher, remember Baba as the ocean of knowledge, and every day remember the bodiless teacher. And when you did that, then you would go into liberation and liberation in life. Because when you remember Baba as the teacher, then you also remember the teaching. Yes, if you don't remember Baba as the teacher, then you don't remember the teaching. You remember Baba as the father, you remember the love, you don't remember the teaching. But when you remember Baba as the teacher, then you remember the teacher and the teaching. And both give you power. So the knowledge gives you power and the teacher also gives you power. So have you seen that? I remember, there was this one teacher and he used to teach us a very difficult subject in masters, and I personally found that subject very difficult. But he had such a calm face and he would so effortlessly teach that subject that in 6 months through that course, I started loving that subject. And I really felt that his presence made a difference. And I really felt that when he was just in the class, I felt that that subject is very easy. And so, the one who is teaching gives you power. and the teaching also gives you power. So Baba says, remember me as the teacher and remember my teaching also. So this is something that Baba asks us to make effort for. And just by knowing what we have to do, we will not start doing it. You have to make effort, and it's not easy to start something that you have never done. Yes, so if you have, I know for a fact that there are many Brahmins who don't meditate a lot. And if you have not been into the practice of having yoga, then initially it takes a lot of effort. The buddhi, which is the instrument to have yoga, is all rusted. So, when you start using a rusted machine, then it gets stuck all the time and it makes a lot of sound and it's very uncomfortable. And until and unless you use it for quite some time, it doesn't smoothen. So it's not going to happen very naturally. You really have to make effort, and you have to sit and very consciously you have to create the thoughts, play commentaries, do whatever, but make that effort until you start remembering the teacher with the heart and very organically. So this is something that Baba says. And then Baba tells us something which caught my attention a lot today, that Baba says that you did not know the souls or God before you met me. And about the soul, Baba says it's very interesting that Baba tells us that a whole part of 84 births is recorded in the soul. And we did not know this. And have you ever seen that sometimes, when you have silver or iron utensils, then they become very dark and dirty because they are not used for some time. And then then you remember someday how shining and how attractive they were when you bought them. And then you start using all those whatever hacks about cleaning them, and then you start cleaning them, and then they come out the way they were. So even the rusted iron, that it takes its original form, or the dirty silver vessel also shines. And it's very important to hold in your awareness what is the original form of something to get it back. Yes, and Baba says that we, the souls, had no idea about what was our pure form like. So we thought that, we have always been like this, full of vices, full of sorrow, yes, full of tension. But Baba tells us that no, that's your journey, and Baba tells us about our whole truth. He introduces us to ourselves, and we start remembering what was our original form. And then the next thing that Baba tells us is that just like for the vessel, that shining form is still lying underneath. It's not gone, it's just hidden under the layers. So, and if you remove the layers, you can still see the shining vessel. Similarly, Baba says that the part in you is non-corrosive. It never gets corroded. It's always there. It's just that, this part of you, the impure part of you, is now emerged, and the purity in you is now merged. But Baba says that it's always there. So do you understand that the whole 84 birth reel in us is always there. It's not like it ever finishes or it gets corroded. It never happens like that. So when we know this beautiful fact that I'm a soul and I was a deity for 2500 years and that part is still there in me. It's just merged underneath. Then Baba tells us also the method to emerge that part. Yes, and just like with a metal, you can have a chemical reaction and you can change it to its original form. Baba says, I am the catalyst who will help you get back to your original form. So Baba says, if you remember me, then I will invoke that original aspect in you. And this is why by remembering God, we don't become God. We become a deity. Because Baba is like that catalyst who brings about the reaction in us which changes the acquired state and takes us back to the original state. But in that whole reaction, he remains unchanged like the catalyst. So Baba says, if you remember me, then I will take you back to your original form and you will become, your deity sanskars will again emerge. So the more we remember Baba, our divine sanskars emerge. So this is the beautiful thing that Baba tells us, and Baba says, you didn't know yourself, you didn't know me, and you didn't know yourself in your totality, and you didn't know how to remember me and what happens when you remember me. So all of these things Baba comes and shares with us which we never knew. And because Baba pays a lot of attention to remembrance, and today Baba also paid a lot of attention or drew our attention to churning the discus of self-realization, which is remembering your whole 84 birth journey. But you have to pay attention that in the churning of the discus of self-realization, when we enter Dwapar Yuga, when we come to the copper age and we fall, Baba says, don't remember that you fell. Remember that you were a worship-worthy deity in the temples, because you want to remember that which you want to become. Yes, so the part you remember will be invoked. So Baba has given us this beautiful cycle where we remember ourselves as a point of light in the soul world, as a deity in the divine world of Satyug and Treta Yuga, and then as a worship-worthy deity in the temples from Dwapar Yuga to Kali Yuga, and then in Sangam Yuga, I am a Brahmin, and not a struggling Brahmin, but a good Brahmin. Yes, a Brahmin who is able to, who is the right hand of Baba and who is doing everything according to Baba's Srimat. And then I transition into an angel, an instrument of divine light, of the light and might of the Almighty. So Baba says, the more you churn this Swadershan Chakra, that which is latent in you, that which is now merged in you, will start emerging. And you see, it's so beautiful that you want to now invoke all your elevated sanskars. And when you remember yourself in the soul world, your sanskar of being in complete silence, like a seed, gets invoked. And when you are a Chaitanya deity, a living deity in Satyug, you remember yourself as a living deity, then your sanskars of being pure in every action, they get invoked. In Satyug we have a pure family path. So your sanskars of being absolutely pure in every karma, whether it's the karma of thought also, in the deity world, you are absolutely pure in all your actions and interactions in the family path. And that sanskar gets invoked when we start churning on and remembering our life in Satyug. And then when you see yourself as a worship-worthy deity, which sanskars are getting invoked? Your sanskar of being a detached observer and a benevolent giver. Yes. So when you practice being a worship-worthy deity, in that stage, you are encountering many souls, and all those souls have different vibrations. They are in different states of mind. But how do you look at them? Like a detached observer and with an attitude of good wishes and good feelings, and with the good wish that everybody should get what they are seeking. And this is a very good practice to have. And I have personally felt that if you practice this, it becomes very easy to serve in Sangam Yuga. Because in Sangam Yuga also, when you meet souls, they have so many different sanskars. And then the first level of seva is maintaining that constant good wish and good feeling for everybody, that they should get their inheritance from Baba. So this is the sanskar that you invoke when you practice your worship-worthy stage. And then the sanskar of being a complete yogi, sahiyogi, and a complete disciplined soul on the path of Srimad, that gets invoked when you practice your perfect Brahmin form. So you need discipline to follow Srimad, and you need accurate yoga with Baba, and you need the power to cooperate in Baba's work. And you try invoking all these sanskars in your Brahmin stage. So you look at yourself, you create an image of a perfect Brahmin who is absolutely disciplined, who is using their time, energy, thought, body, mind, wealth, everything accurately on Srimad, and somebody who has continuous and unbreakable yoga with Baba all the time, and somebody who is always available to cooperate with Baba and his seva. So Baba says, invoke that sanskar. And then the sanskar of an angel. The sanskar of an angel. Angel is the symbol of purity. So absolute purity where you are serving, but you are serving in a very upram stage. Yes, you are serving in a stage which is very elevated, and you are not down there and serving, but from a very elevated stage, you're taking everything from Baba and giving it to everybody else. So Baba says that the more you practice churning the Swadarsan Chakra, and if you think about it, it is such a big thing that only we souls in the whole world know this Swadarsan Chakra. Yes, nobody knows that, this is our whole journey. And Baba says, this is like a very big weapon through which you can cut your sins. And Baba says in the scriptures, they show that Swadarsan Chakra killed Akasur and Bakasur, the devils. But Baba says, no, Swadarsan Chakra, you don't kill anybody outside with that, but you kill all your sins with that. So, you are cutting your sins. And what are sins? So, I remember Prakashmani Dadiji used to say this statement very often. She used to say that the pap that we did in our previous births, they live in us, with us, like sanskars now. Yes, so all the pap that we did is our sanskar now. And when Baba says that when you churn the Swadarsan Chakra, then you get rid of your pap, it means that it changes your sanskar. Because when you invoke your elevated sanskars, the weak sanskars automatically get merged. So Baba says it's very important that you remember the teachings, you remember the teacher, and you churn the Swadarsan Chakra. And if you make the effort to do this, then you will go into Mukti and Jivan Mukti, and not by asking for visions, or not by having visions or having Baba's Drishti. And I will also like to talk something about the slogan today. Baba says that when you have zeal and enthusiasm and you have no conflict, only then can you succeed. So, for success, these two things are very important. And there is a saying in Hindi, umang utsaah धूल को भी धन बना देता है. Where there is zeal and enthusiasm, dust changes into money. And it's very important to know this. Sometimes, there's this huge wave of this energy which is consuming the world, where everybody feels demotivated. And people are saying, we don't want to get up from the bed, we don't feel like doing anything, we don't feel the zeal and enthusiasm. But that's a very, very bad state to be in. And when you are in that state, you have to pull yourself up. And self-motivation is the only way. So, Baba is the biggest motivator. He is already giving us the tools of how to talk to ourselves, how to motivate ourselves. And it is the first and foremost duty of every Brahmin to be in zeal and enthusiasm always and create an atmosphere of zeal and enthusiasm. Yes, because only in that atmosphere will souls be pushed to do good karma or motivated to do good karma. So this is the first thing for success. And then the second thing that Baba says is, don't have any conflict amongst yourself. Because when there is a conflict, then energy gets obstructed, it gets stuck. So you will only think about that person with whom you have conflict, and they will keep thinking about you. So you both will keep blocking each other's progress. So never have any conflict with anybody. Even if there is a difference of opinion, use Gyan and resolve that and accept that it's okay to have difference of opinion. Don't go into conflict of opinion. And this thing that every soul is different, their opinion is different, and it doesn't matter, it doesn't mean that one is right and one is wrong, we are only different. This helps a lot. And when you have conflict of opinion, then the energy gets stuck and there is no progress there. So beware of these two things. Don't have the opposite of zeal and enthusiasm, and don't enter into conflict if you want to have success in this Brahmin life. Okay, Om Shanti.